about an hour and 15 minutes to go through the latest in video technology. And video encompasses so many different aspects of your business. And we're not just going to go over things like video home tours today, but we're going to dig into video email programs and ways to communicate better with your clients. We're going to get into video screen captures, and I have a ton of gadgets and toys to show you. My name is Steve Passanelli, and I work for Move. I'm the Vice President of Real Estate Events for Move, but you also may know me from Tech Savvy Agent. Do you have any Tech Savvy Agent fans in the room? Yeah! All right. Not bad. So, a lot of the things I go over, I did post the Tech Savvy Agent, but I wanted to make sure that if people have seen my videos online that I'm going to go over some different topics and dive a little bit deeper into using video in your day-to-day business. And I interviewed agents and found out what they're doing. So hopefully I have a pretty exciting class here for you. But let's start off, because we're doing a video seminar here today, we're going to start off with makes sense, start?
A video.
A PowerPoint presentation.
And if we get...
Back to your man. Back to me. Do I look like your man? Of course not. That would be weird. Only I look like him. And he looks like him. But I look like me. That's because I'm not. Now look at your man. Can he sell real estate? Of course not. You need a realtor. Now look up, look down. Look up, look down. You're nodding, so you agree. Now look up. Your house is sold. Now look down. I have balloons tied to my head.
So there's a lot of interesting ways to use video in your business. I don't know if we're going to go over the method or the style used to create that particular video, but we are going to dive a little bit deeper, as I mentioned, and go over some ways that you may have not have thought of using video before, or adding video into your business. And the interesting thing about video is, obviously, it relates to photography a lot. So a lot of the concepts that we're going to go over here today for video, when we go over things like exposure compensation, because we will go a little bit in depth, it will relate to photographing homes as well. So I'll try to bring in that aspect into the presentation too, so you can learn some tips about getting better photography or taking better photography for your homes. Like, for example, the first picture that you see up here on this screen, this would be typical of a photo that a normal realtor would take that didn't really have any photographic experience or training. They took a picture. It's a nice room here with the fireplace. It's all stone, but the problem with the photo is it's dark. It's dark. And that's what would happen if you just picked up your camera, you turned it on, you looked at the scene, and you pressed the button. So we're going to go over ways that you can take that dark photo, something very simple that you can do on your camera, and something that you want to look for on a camera if you're going to buy one, and that's called exposure compensation. But we'll get into that in a minute. We're going to talk about editing tools for your photos and your videos, and I'll show you some things that can help you make and straighten out your photos. By the way, every photo that you're going to see here is actually a real one from the MLS. I got most of these from badmlsphotos.com. It's an interesting website if you want to go out there and check it out.
What is that again?
It's called badmlsphotos.com. We're going to go over a lot of equipment here today because we have a decent amount of time, and I brought a whole bunch of gadgets to hold up and show you, and you guys can feel free to come up after the event to take a look at some of these gadgets. But there's just some gadgets that you shouldn't buy and take pictures with for real estate. Like, for example, this is done with a fisheye lens. And if you want your photos to seem really creepy that someone's peering into the home through a peephole, then maybe you'd want to use a fisheye lens. And I have a video that someone shot with a fisheye lens too, but it was longer, so I figured the picture would be more applicable. Something else that we're going to learn.
Nice.
It never instills a sense of confidence in your buyers when you don't actually get out of the car.
It goes to the rear view mirror.
To take your photo. And I'm going to show you a video that starts off in the car here today for a video home tour, and that's okay, as long as the natural progression is to get out of the car and to film the rest of the home as well. Yeah, real MLS photo. The best part about this description was it says, owner is longtime resident and realtor. And there he is, Joe Sixpack, right there in the couch. And finally, it's all in any of your photos or videos. The interesting thing about this series of pictures, every single picture of the home had that exact doll somewhere in the room. So that would be obvious, of course, but all kidding aside, let's get to some of our main points here today. We're going to break video down into 3 main topics, even though there's other ways that you can use video in your business. So we're going to talk about video home tours. I'm going to go over the do-it-yourself method, and I'm going to go over software that you can use, and then we're going to talk about the easy button and how to do the video home tours yourself with the easy button. Talk about video email. Video email is becoming more and more popular. I'm going to go over some services, some free, some paid, that can allow you to communicate more effectively with your potential clients and your past clients. You guys are in real estate because you're a people person, right? People like you. So you want to make sure that you are communicating with them in the best way possible, and I'm going to give you some free methods on how you can do that. We're also going to end it up with video screen capture, and video screen capture should be a big part of anyone's business. We're going to go over how you can create market reports just using your computer and your screen, because not everybody is comfortable getting in front of a video camera. So this is a way that you can still use video in your business without even stepping in front of the camera. But before we go over all of these methods, we really need to understand some of the equipment first. The biggest, most popular question I get, I would say, is, hey Steve, what kind of camera should I buy? And there is no right answer for that question. So I'll go over some methods on choosing the right camera for you. But another question is, why video? You know, why implement video in your business? If you go online and you're searching for a car, and maybe it's the cheapest car, new car, that any manufacturer makes. We'll just say it's $18,000. And you hop online and you're researching that vehicle, and you can see 45 photos of that car in all different positions. Then, most likely, you're going to see 3, 4, 5, 6 videos of that car driving around the neighborhoods, if it's a truck driving on dirt roads, and they're going to have some pretty fancy videos of that car as well. But then you go online and you want to research a home that's maybe $500,000 or maybe $1 million, and that same person is seeing 16 photos or 12 or 10 photos. So there's a disconnect between what consumers are used to getting on the internet and what some agents are providing. So one reason to use video is, hey, it's important. That's what your consumers are expecting. And I'm going to share with you some statistics that will actually prove that. But another reason to use video is, as I said before, you guys have great relationship skills. That's why you're in real estate. And imagine doing a listing presentation, but you had to type up the whole thing. And you didn't really meet the person. You just emailed that listing presentation out. You probably wouldn't feel that comfortable, right? Because they're not going to understand your passion. They're not going to get your nuance, and they can't see your voice inflections. But doing something like that in a video, a simple message being sent out after a listing presentation, will be much more powerful. So there's a lot of great reasons to use video. But the first thing that we need to cover is YouTube. And hopefully I have a live connection here. I have the slides just in case we cannot go live, but I'm going to exit out of my slideshow for a second, and I'm going to go into YouTube, because YouTube should be the most important part of your video marketing business. I'm going to pop into the Tech Savvy Agent YouTube channel, and I'm going to go over some of the new enhancements and changes that YouTube has made recently. Anyone in the room not have a YouTube account? Show of hands. I used to do have a YouTube. Everybody's hands went up. Okay, so we have a couple people that don't have YouTube. It's easy. It's free. Don't worry about not having the account. Go to youtube.com, sign up for it, create your username and password. A lot of people don't even know that they have a YouTube account, and they do, because YouTube is owned by Google. Right. So if you have a Gmail account, or you have a Google account, or you ever used AdWords before, it's all the same login. So you might not even know. Just go into YouTube and try that Gmail address that you have, and most likely it's going to log you right into your YouTube profile. Now, once you get that YouTube account, the most common question I get, and I didn't used to add this into my presentations, how to take that video and how to embed it onto your website, but that was the most common question I got after a presentation. So I want to make sure that everyone knows how you take that video and how you actually bring it into your website. Turn down the volume there. So here's the Tech Savvy Agent page. I have a lot of videos here on this particular page. What's nice, what they just did with YouTube recently here, is notice on the side of the screen, it says website, Facebook, Twitter, About Me, and personal Facebook. That's brand new. They changed that about 1 to 2 months ago. Before on YouTube, there was very little methods or ways that someone could actually get to your website from the YouTube page. YouTube wanted to keep you there within YouTube without having you leave the website. So for some reason they made this adjustment and they put all of your call to actions in the upper right hand side and all the links outside of YouTube, and you can now add that in. You can add that in by going to the edit button in the upper right hand screen. And if your YouTube page doesn't look like this, if you get home and it looks a little bit different, there'll be a bar on the top of your page that says switch to the new YouTube version. So just make sure you click that bar. It's going to look like this here, and it's going to give you the opportunity of entering in all your live links on the side, which is really important. So let's select a video here. I'm going to open up the Google Business Pages in search, and I'm going to click it. Now the goal of YouTube, your goal for YouTube, shouldn't be to drive people to your YouTube page. The goal of YouTube is to drive people to your website. Right. So instead of just placing all of your videos here, we want to make use of this share button that's directly underneath any video that you go to on YouTube. And when you click the share button and we scroll down a bit, it's going to give us two options. It's going to give us a live link, and that link you can use to email out to clients, customers, whoever you would like, and they click that and it takes them to your YouTube page. All right. Or we can click the embed button. And when we click the embed button, it's going to give us some, what looks like a bunch of garbled book here, but this is actually code. And all you have to do with this code is you copy it and you paste it onto your website. So if you have a blog, or like a WordPress blog, you would go and you would copy that, you would paste it, and rather than all of that text appearing there, when you previewed it, the video would magically appear, because that text actually means something. One thing for the advanced users out there, the most important box that you want to uncheck when you're embedding video onto your website is show suggested videos when the video finishes. By default, it's checked. We want to uncheck that. Why do we want to do that?
Because it'll leave your page.
Yeah, most of you got it. Because if we embed this video onto our website, because it's hosted on YouTube first, but then we're taking it, replacing it onto our website, when they watch that video and the video finishes, it's going to offer a bunch of other videos that have similar topics, which chances are aren't ours. And when they click that video, then where are they going to go?
Where else?
Back to YouTube. So we want to keep them on our website. So you want to make sure that button is always unchecked. And there's a couple other options there which are less important about the size of the video, things like that. But obviously we want to match that up for your website. So I want to make sure I popped out of the presentation there just to go over a couple quick things about YouTube to make sure that everybody knows how to pull these videos. Okay, so now that we know how to pull the videos off the page, let's talk a little bit about equipment and what camera should you buy. A lot of the real estate gurus and technology video gurus out there will recommend maybe something like the Kodak PlayTouch. I've heard the Kodak ZI-8, which is an older version, recommended a lot. I've heard things about flip cams and even Sony Bloggies are fairly new. Heard a lot of gurus recommend the Sony Bloggie. I'm actually not going to recommend any of those products for real estate unless you're just using it for blogging. Because all those cameras that I just mentioned there are missing one crucial feature for video home tours. If that's what you're planning on using it for, it's missing a crucial feature for video home tours. And that feature is something called exposure compensation. Now this sounds a little bit confusing, but it's a very simple and basic concept. When you film a home, or when you take a picture of something, and it doesn't matter if I take a picture of something with my iPhone, with the Sony WX9, or an $8,000 digital SLR, each one of these cameras will work exactly the same. It's going to try to look at the scene, or if you're videoing something, of course, it's going to try to look at the scene, and it tries to average out the luminance, average out the light in the scene. And what each camera tries to do is it tries to move it to something called 18% gray, which isn't a very light color. It's gray for that matter. So if you're photographing a home or you're video recording a property and the property has white walls or the property has light walls, which most homes do, and then a bunch of big windows, what's the camera going to try to do? And every camera tries to do it. It'll try to make it darker. It'll try to average out that scene. And in that first photo that I showed you there, in the beginning of the presentation, that's why the interior was dark. We never want a dark interior. The most important thing when you're filming a home or you're recording a property is to make the inside nice and bright so it looks warm, light, and inviting. We never want it to be dark unless, of course, we're shooting something like a dungeon. Then maybe a dark scene would work a little bit better for that particular property. But we want it nice and light. And a lot of cameras have a control on it that says exposure compensation or manual compensation. And for this particular camera here, and each camera is a little bit different, but for this particular camera, this is a Sony WX9. I go into the menu, it pops up, exposure compensation, and I press the up button a couple times. So that tells the camera that I'm shooting something that's light or white, and I want to retain that brightness within my photo. So I just press the button up a couple of times. I can see the result right here on the screen, and I look at it and say, okay, I'm good to go. You don't have to know what stops are, because that's what it's using. It'll say go up 1 stop or 2 stops. You don't have to know the meaning behind the buttons. If you just press it up and make it lighter, most likely you're good to go. Now, when you make something lighter, the windows will be all blown out. They'll be all white, of course, but that's not as important as the property inside. Now, there's ways that you can blend lighting, and we're going to go over blending lighting here in the middle of the presentation. I'm going to show you some video of a home that was filmed during the day, during bright sunlight, then filmed on a cloudy day, and then filmed at the evening. And the evening and the cloudy days are way better, and you're going to see that. But it's okay if you can only record that property during the day to have white windows or bright light windows, as long as the exposure is properly maintained for the home. Now, you also see the Android and the iPhones on this picture too, because guess what? You can get apps for your Android or your iPhone, or if you have the iPhone 4S, you can just hold your finger on the screen and it will automatically adjust exposure. If you hold your finger and you keep it there, it actually locks the exposure in. So all you do is you choose a dark part of the scene, you hold your finger on it, and you'll see the screen brighten up, and you can record your video using the iPhone. And I'm going to go over some neat tools here for you to help you record those videos with your iPhone. I also want to show you a website that I like to use too. Anybody in the market for a camera? Going to be buying one in the next year? Here's the website that you want to use. It's called dpreview.com. D as in dog, P as in person, review.com. This website is the de facto place to go to learn about cameras, and all the way from the high-end professional cameras all the way down to your basic point-and-shoot models. But what's so nice about this website is it really helps realtors in choosing a great camera, because it lists the features that you need to look at. So I'm going to pop out of here, I'm going to go into the cameras and click Camera Feature Search. Camera Feature Search. And we can choose the type of camera that we would like. And by the way, I'm giving a photography session also downstairs at the Move booth, which we're going to go a little bit more in depth into choosing cameras and which one you want to choose, the digital SLR or the point and shoot. Don't have time to get into that today, but you're going to choose the type of camera here, select it, and it's going to give you a very important piece of information on this main page, and that is the focal length. You see the numbers 25 to 600, 28 to 140? We want to look for a camera that has the lowest first number, because that's the point of view that you're going to get when you are recording either video or still photography, recording a home. Now you can see 28, 24, 28. If you're going to work with a compact camera, that's about as low as you're going to get. It's the 24 in range. But then we have nice little wide-angle lens attachments that you could add on to that as well. Okay, the other thing that it will show here on the screen, it'll say exposure compensation or manual exposure. It'll say yes or no, so you know if the camera you're thinking about buying has that important adjustment that you can make when you're recording your homes. So let's go back to the slideshow here. I'm going to show you some pretty cool pieces of equipment. This is a shot of a kitchen taken at 27 millimeters. So that range of the compact cameras, most of them between 24 and 28 millimeters. So this was taken at 27 millimeters. This is the same kitchen with the camera in the same exact place on a tripod. taken at 17 millimeters. So that's the difference that you can get with basically just 10 millimeters difference on the low end. Would it be important for a buyer to know that the left wall is stone? Oh yeah, that's probably pretty important too. There's a window above the kitchen sink there, yep, and the counter much longer here, so that's the difference. This will play a big role in photography as well as your videography, because when you have a nice wide angle lens camera for your videos, we can actually make our videos much smoother using digital stabilization, and I'm going to go over that technique and what software will allow you to do that digital stabilization. So let's go over some tools. How are we doing on time here? We're doing fine. So what the heck is this? Anybody know what this is? Yeah, it's a Steadicam, and it is a stabilizer. I just got this one recently. This is for my iPhone, but you can get different mounts for pretty much any device that you have. One of the biggest problems with video home tours when you watch agents' home tours that are doing it themselves is they all look like the Blair Witch Project. And the person's holding the camera while they're usually talking, while behind the camera at the same time, and the camera's bouncing around, and people are getting sick watching the video. This little handy contraption costs $180. It's on sale right now on B&H Photo for $150. This will allow you to walk using your small camera, even if you do have a Play Touch or a ZI-8, you can get attachments for that too. But of course this one's for the iPhone. But when I walk, notice how this thing stays pretty much still. This sways a little bit on the bottom because it's a counterbalance. This is free moving here. It's perfectly balanced to make sure that when you're stepping and you're doing pans, that camera does not move, and you'll notice a world of difference. I'm going to show you a video here in the video home tours done with a professional Steadicam and a digital SLR lens, and it's pretty amazing. So that comes in around $150 if you go to B&H. If you're going to use something like that, you can also get other attachments like wide-angle lenses if you're going to go with your phone. This one's for an iPhone here again. I got this particular attachment from hdhat.com. HDHat. They offer a whole slew of accessories that you can get for iPads, iPhones, small cameras and devices, magnetic wide-angle lenses. Here's an example if you have an iPad. The iPad takes terrible photos, by the way. But the video on the iPad isn't that bad. The video is pretty decent. But please do not use your iPad to take photos with it. But if you have an attachment like this, this is a wide-angle lens attachment for an iPad, which allows you to take videos. Now, how the heck are you going to hold this thing walking around the house? Well, don't worry. It has a little thread on the bottom here so you can put a stabilizer bar. You don't have to go completely fancy and get something like the Steadicam Smoothie like you see here. And if you want the spelling, you want a bigger review on this particular product, you can go on Tech Savvy Agent. It's on the home screen there. You can check it out. But you don't have to have something like that. You can just have a bar. And they sell those at HDHat as well. It's a bar that screws into the bottom and just allows you to hold this a little bit easier. It also has a cold shoe on the top, so you can put a little LED light if you would like, and it also has a mic mount on the side. So if you want to go all out for filming yourself or video blogging or something like that, this one really works well too. And again, if you want to see any of the gadgets or toys, please feel free to come up at the end of the class. The last thing I want to mention, this really isn't for video home tours, but this is something that I think is going to be invaluable for you guys, especially if you're doing video testimonials in your business. Is anybody doing video testimonials? Great. You always know you want a tripod or a little tabletop tripod when doing those testimonials, and this one works excellent. It's a little funky looking. When I go through the airport, they always pull this thing out. I'm like, what the heck is this? But this is called a GorillaPod by Moby. And what's nice about this is I can stick this right on the table here if I need a nice still shot, and I can adjust the legs, and I can get a nice video testimonial here, a nice still camera. Or if I'm outside and I want to do my video testimonial outside, I can just wrap this thing right around a branch, and it stays in place. So it's pretty flexible. It costs like $15, so it's not very expensive, and it fits in my bag, so I can take it with me wherever I go and you need a nice still shot. I use it all the time for Tech Savvy Agent when I do my interviews because it is so portable. So that is that's a GorillaPod. And then finally, actually let me pick this up too. This is the Sony WX-9. I'm going to show you a video that was just recorded with this, and it has a wide-angle lens attachment. So this is a regular point-and-shoot camera. It's $199. It has exposure compensation. It's a decent little camera here. It's not so wide on the wide end for your real estate tours, but when you add something like this onto it, this screws right on in. This actually takes it down to 17.5 millimeters. So this is a really, really wide attachment. And with the stabilizer bar, it works really well for recording a property. This whole package here, the camera with the lens and the stabilizer bar and the memory card, and I think they provide a Wi-Fi memory card now too, is $399. And that's with the camera included. Wow. You can get that on HD Hat as well. And that's H as in high, D as in definition, hat. So what do online buyers want the most? Well, the most important thing for online buyers here are multiple photos. But the second most important thing that buyers are looking for is video. That's the second most sorted option on Realtor.com. So I'm going to play a quick video here for you. I want to ask you what you think. In the car, but then they get
Beautiful carriage house set deep into this immaculately kept, gated community with garage and off-street parking. Both living and dining rooms feature professional crown molding and columns, 9-foot ceilings, and hi-hat dimming lights. The dining room offers a double-sided, flow-through gas fireplace opening into the great room.
I'm going to turn that down. And you guys can continue watching it here while we just discuss this particular video. This video was done by someone that never recorded a home before. He's not even a real estate agent. His dad is the real estate agent. And this is his first time he used this exact camera that you see here with the stabilizer bar, and he recorded this video. Now, do I think this is the best video of all time? Well, no. But do I think it's better than 90% of the videos that I see online and on Realtor.com and other websites? I'm going to have to go with yes, because notice how smooth it is. Notice how smooth all the pans are. Even when Kyle was walking down the hallways, you notice the camera wasn't bouncing up and down, and it just had that floating professional feel to the video. Also, notice how bright this is as well. There's some scenes that get a little bit dark, but he used the camera, the Sony here, that had exposure compensation, and he bumped it up almost a full stop, which is almost double the amount of light than what the camera would have done itself. So it's allowing double the amount of light in, and that's the scene that you get. So imagine how dark it would have been if he filmed that with a ZI-8 or a PlayTouch that didn't have that setting. So how do you get a video like this? Well, there's a number of options. If you're a do-it-yourself kind of person, I have some software for you that can help you smooth out your videos and edit your videos together. If you are a PC person, a great piece of software to use is a program called Sony Vegas. Sony Vegas, like in Las Vegas. And that will allow you to edit and stitch your videos together, put in transitions, add music in the background, do a professional voiceover in the background, because most of the time, depending if you're just by yourself and you don't have a team of people with you, most of the time it's better to do your voiceovers after the fact. Because if you do it during, and I steal this one from my friend Darren Persinger here, but he does a great job with this. He does a video class too, and he mentions videos that he has seen with the agent walking around behind the camera, and they walk up the steps, and they get to the top of the steps, and they're like, and this is the legend. I really think you're gonna like it. It makes me laugh every time he does that. But it's pretty funny, and I agree with that. The video that you just saw there had the narration done after the video was actually recorded. So you can do that with these programs. So Sony Vegas would be for a PC. If you have a Mac, guess what? You already have a great application for editing video on your computer, and that's iMovie. You can even get iMovie for 10 bucks on your, where I put my iPad? There it is, on your iPad. And I've even heard a lot of agents editing video right on their iPad and getting a pretty decent result right here. However, though, your iPad is lacking a crucial function, especially for real estate home tours. And that is something called digital stabilization. All the programs I just went over except the iMovie for the iPad has digital stabilization. So what does that do? If you're using Sony, the Sony Vegas program or iMovie, you click a button and it'll say, do you want iMovie to stabilize your video? You hit yes, you'll sit there and you'll wait and wait and wait. It takes a long time to do it. But what it does is it actually takes out the corners of your video. So when your camera is bouncing up and down, when you're walking or you take a big step or you run into a wall that's bouncing up and down a little bit, it will actually move up and down with you. But you're losing some of the edges of your video. That's why it's important. If you're going to record something, you need a nice wide-angle lens because you're going to lose the edges anyway. And if you don't have a wide-angle lens and you lose the edges, then you're going to get this really like a tunnel vision-like effect. You're not going to be able to see the home properly. So that's why it's important to start with that wide angle, because these programs have that digital stabilization which will smooth out your video really, really nicely and give you that floating effect. Now the video that you just watched, not only did they do digital stabilization on it, but my buddy Kyle also had a little bar, a stabilizer bar that he walked around with, which helped him a little bit. The funny thing though is, Kyle isn't a dainty man. He's like 240 pounds, 6'3", and he's just enormous. And so it was pretty funny watching him trying to tiptoe down the hallways to record this video. This is the original video before it was digitally stabilized, and you're going to see here in a second. I mean, he tried his best, and he did a nice job, and he had that bar. But doesn't that look totally different than the video that you just watched? So that's the power of that digital stabilization. You want to run everything through that. However, though, this particular video that we're watching here wasn't done on iMovie or HD Hat. Or, I'm sorry, I just ruined the surprise. It wasn't done on iMovie or Sony Vegas. It was actually done on HD Hat. And by the way, if you want more training, I found a great service called Easy Agent Video, easyagentvideo.com. It's a paid training service, but I have an account for it, and I flipped through, and they have huge, extensive training guides on both Sony Vegas and iMovie and equipment. And you get unlimited access to all of their videos. It's actually really nice. I think it comes in, it's a little over $100, I think, to get the exact price for it. But it's a great option if you want to continue the education. Now, how many people in the room are just looking for the easy button for video and they don't want to edit their own stuff? So that's through HD Hat. I'm going to exit out here. I'm going to go to their website. HD Hat not only provides a lot of these neat little tools that I picked up here and showed you, like the wide-angle lens for the iPad and for your iPhone, but they also have an excellent video editing service. So here's why we tried that service. Again, my buddy Kyle never filmed a home before, not even a realtor. His dad is an agent out in Philadelphia. I said, Kyle, let's give this a try, because I knew about HD Hat for a while, but I never got a chance to try it out myself, and I didn't want to do it either because I have a photography background. So I let Kyle watch a 5-minute video that's on their website. It's called How to Film a Home in 12 Minutes or Less. So he watched the video. He didn't film it in 12 minutes. It took just under 20 minutes, about 18 minutes or so, but not bad for a first timer, right? He took I did supply him with the camera, but I did not help him in any way. He did everything himself. He went outside, he turned on the record button, he started filming the exterior, because you always want to sell the community first. He never turned the camera off, walked inside, started doing the interior shots, ran into the wall a couple times, while trying to look at the screen, and made mistakes and bloopers and messed up rooms, and there was a bunch of bloopers throughout the entire video there, but never turned the camera off. He had one 18-minute long video. After he was finished recording the home, he went to his computer, he uploaded the photo, uploaded the video to HD Hat, and then he typed in 7 little paragraphs of text. He hit the go button. 24 hours later, that video came back. It was on his dad's Realtor.com account automatically. It was syndicated to 15 other video websites automatically. It was edited. All the transitions were put in. The narration was automatically added into with a professional narrator. They made the entire video, they threw it together, they emailed it back, and now Kyle has a copy of that video in less than 24 hours. For those of you that don't know about the service, what would you pay for something like that? 40 bucks, 50 bucks.
10 bucks.
10 bucks, come on. It can't be $10. But for $29, for only $29, $29.95 per home, that's what HD Hat is. Yeah, I see some jaws are dropping. $29.95. That's why I love showing this product. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. I don't get paid anything if you sign up for HD Hat. It doesn't make a difference to me whatsoever. Just in my experiences, I found that they offer a quality product for a very inexpensive price at 30 bucks per home, and they're a great team of people that work there too. Excellent customer service as well. And the end quality is fantastic. Now that was Kyle, and that was his first attempt. I saw people who create, or agents who are creating HD Hat videos that look absolutely phenomenal because they've done 4 or 5 or 6 and they learned some of the things where they messed up last time and they're going to do better this time. That was a first timer's attempt, which I think is absolutely amazing. All right, so now I'm going to make Kyle's video look pretty bad. Even though, most of you guys said that, hey, that was a pretty good video. Well, imagine going on a listing presentation and having that video there. A lot of agents I talk to now are using that in their marketing pieces. They're actually putting it out there on their, on the internet, on the flyers that they create home tours for every property that they list. Is there a question over there on the side?
How did you get the aerial of a neighbor?
The question was, how did you get the aerial view? We didn't. They just automatically do it for you. So we use the HD Hat, they do the aerial view, the narration. That whole intro section was actually something that they throw in with the address. Yeah. Pretty cool stuff. All right, so now I'm going to play a little video here for you. This was not done by me. This is done by Nashua Video Tours. And they have a great example of when to film your videos, because most agents will film their videos during the day. And this is good because the inside, they definitely use exposure compensation in here, because you notice nice bright windows, but at least you can see everything inside and it's not too dark when they film this. But still, probably not the best video if we have the choice to choose what time of day we would like to film our properties. So this is a professional camera, a digital SLR camera on a stabilizer like the one that I showed you for the iPhone. So you notice how smooth it is. It's a $2,500 camera with a $2,000 lens, so it's a $4,500 setup, whereas my buddy Kyle was using the $400 setup. So this is a property filmed on a cloudy day. And notice how much better it looks on a cloudy day than the bright sunny day. Everything's still nice and light and bright and vibrant, but when we panned over the windows there, we weren't getting that radioactive outside feeling, right? So here is a home at night, or it's not really at night, it's at dusk. So notice how you get these deep dark blue tones in the exterior of the property outside, but inside it's nice, bright, warm, and inviting. So I'm going to say personally that I like the dusk photo better. And in my photography class, which I'm going to give down at the Move booth, I'm going to go over still shots of photos taken of the same property outside at different times during the day. And it's the same thing that you see here. It provides beautiful blue lighting outside and nice warm lighting inside. Yes?
Are they still overexposing the exposure?
It depends on the home. I would guess, and I don't know the answer for their particular video, but it seemed like there was a light tan color and there was some white walls in there. You may want to, I would always recommend bumping it up at least a third of a stop or so. And that's what your camera will read it by. It'll say a third stop, 2/3 stops, or a full stop. I would always go up a little bit. If you're going to film during the day, you probably want to bump it up a full stop on your exposure compensation.
How is the iPhone with the wide lens?
The question was, how's the iPhone with the wide-angle lens? It's not bad. The video that you just saw there, that one was filmed with a $4,500 Canon setup. And you didn't really notice any bowing of the edges. You didn't notice that much distortion on the sides. When you watch my buddy Kyle's video on the Sony WX9, you do see that a little bit. If you watch closely, you see some of the edges are a little bit distorted. I mean, overall, between $400 and $4,500, there is going to be a difference. There's a reason why you pay $4,500. But that would be very similar to what an iPhone with a wide-angle lens would look like, that Sony camera. It's not great. You're going to get some distortion on the side, but remember, when you digitally stabilize something, we're cutting out the edges of that video anyway, so it makes it look a little bit better. Was there one more hand up I saw? Yes?
There is no way to adjust, it does to get it only 15 minutes in the morning or the evening. There is no way to adjust that during the evening.
Yeah, so there's no way that you can adjust that you have a limited time frame at night if you are going to try to do the dust shots. You don't have to do it right at they call it like the magic hour or the magic 15 minutes. For video, you don't have to film it right at that point. You can just film it when the sun is about to set, and as long as it's not still streaming through the windows, you're still going to get a much lesser luminance outside. You just want the exterior light to match the interior light. And that's the goal, so you don't get these big dark shadows and these big bright highlights. So cloudy days work great as well. Okay. The question was, what about Android phones? The only tough part about an Android phone is there's so many Android phones. An iPhone, you have basically the 4 and the 4S, which have the same exact body style, and then the 3GS. So really there's only two different body styles in production right now. And people can make a case for that because it's the same size. Androids come in so many different flavors and varieties and things like that. It's harder for a company to say, hey, I'm going to make a case for this model phone because there's 45 other models of Android phones that have different dimensions. So you can still find wide-angle lens attachments for it here and there. There's the magnetic variety, but you're just going to have to search a little bit harder for an Android phone. We'll do one more question and then we got to move on. Yes? I'm sorry? The question was the quality. The short answer is no. When you're filming something with a $300 device as compared to what you just saw, that was a professional videographer filming a home with a $4,500 device. There's a reason why people pay that amount of money. But for most video home tours online, you're not going to be viewing it in your 50-inch HD quality screen. It's going to be a small video, and most buyers aren't really going to notice those changes. So there's the law of diminishing returns. Like, how much more do you want to spend to get 5% better? And then we'll do that question, and then we really got to move on. Yes?
If you were going to use the iPhone 4S, what's the minimum amount of use you want to be able to do that?
The question was, if you're going to use an iPhone 4S, what's the minimum amount of storage space? Is that what your storage space? Yeah. It comes in 3 varieties, the 16, the 32, and the 64. And when you film video, 1080p video like the 4S, it takes up some room. So I do not recommend the 16 gigabyte. I have the 32 and I run out of space all the time and it really bothers me. I'm like, I should have spent the extra $100 and got the 64. But 32 or 64 would be fine. Okay, let's move on here. So 70% of home sellers, this is an older statistic, it is from 2010, but I still find it fairly relevant. 70% of home sellers said they'd more likely list their home with an agent who offered to put up a video. How many agents in 2010, and this is from Realtor.com, actually put up a video of the agents that could, percentage-wise? Did you see this before? It is 1%. Yeah, it's 1%. Now I'm sure in 2012, I'm sure that number is up. It has to be up. I tried to get the latest statistic, I couldn't grab it here. But it's still very, very small. And remember, we went over that previous slide that said video was the second most sorted option. So we want to make sure that we have video on Realtor.com and on any other website out there. Because if someone sorts by homes with videos, guess what? You're not popping up if you don't have one. So that's an important way to get more exposure, get more free exposure. By the way, the only way to get video on your listing on Realtor.com is you need to make sure that your homes are showcased. So I just wanted to mention that to everybody. Services like HD Hat will automatically upload the video for you. Yes?
No, I don't understand how to get the video up on Realtor.com, because by the time you shoot it in 1080p, it's much larger than they'll allow to be uploaded. So it goes everywhere else for me, but not Realtor.com, because I can't get more than like a 2-minute video on there.
Yeah, the question was storage space on Realtor.com. If you want to, we have all our tech guys at the booth. If you want to come down to the booth, not everybody's using Realtor.com, so I don't want to take up everybody's time. Or you can come talk to me when we're done. No problem. The other way, obviously, to get more exposure just by using Realtor.com would be through featured homes. You have showcase listings, which make sure you can add videos. You get up to 25 photos for your particular listings, but featured homes will actually get you the placement on the top and on the bottom of the screen. You get 19 times the exposure. So by having that video there, by providing a better service for your clients, by providing more information to your buyers, and getting that extra exposure can really, really help you. Something that I've been noticing recently, and not just on Realtor.com, anywhere else, people are using video in their advertisements. And people are putting it on, for example, here's a featured agent banner, which runs the top and on the side of the screen here. You know, see all of my videos for sale in Weston, and then they click that and it goes to all the videos that they have recorded. I saw a pretty decent advertisement that said, every home I list contains a professionally done video tour. And that's just something that can set yourself apart from the competition, whether you decide to advertise here or advertise on Trulia or Zillow or any other website that may contain real estate listings. So let's switch gears a little bit. We talked about video home tours. I'm going to go over video email now. And there's 2 programs I'm going to recommend to use for video email. One's free and one is very inexpensive. BombBomb and iJot. The BombBomb guys are actually here at the show. Did anybody swing by their booth yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay, great. Awesome guys there. I use BombBomb myself. And they sent me some statistics about realtors using their service. And they found that in their service, they see a 50 to 80% increase in open rate with realtors that use a video inside their email. Now, video email was popular like 6 years ago or 7 years ago until people figured out when you put a video in an email, not too many people can actually see the video because everybody has a different email program and application, and it wasn't popping up, in the email app, so people stopped using video email. Now video email seems to be making a comeback because they figured out ways for that email to appear on almost any device. Whether you're using iJot or BombBomb, if I send you an email from Tech Savvy Agent here, I can actually add that video into the body of the email, and if you're viewing it on your iPhone or you take it out and you view it on your iPad, it's not a link. It doesn't take you to YouTube to watch that video. The video plays without ever leaving your email app. So you have a higher chance of people actually viewing what you have to say because it's right there in the native application. Really, really cool. Both of these services do it fairly well. But I use them both, and I use them for different reasons. And let me go over the reasons. Oh, and one more stat here for you. Conversion rates. It's not just about people opening up an email and looking at it. You want to make sure people accept your call to action. They click that button. They go to your website. So conversion rates, they found, have been 20 to 30% higher with video. I switched from Constant Contact to BombBomb, and I found that people were opening up my videos, or opening up my emails, I should say, a lot more than with Constant Contact. But before we talk about BombBomb, let me hit iJot first. iJot is free, so you can go to iJot.com. You can download an app on your iPhone. I think they're supposed to have something coming out for the Android here soon. And you can record a video on your computer with your camera or on your phone. The app does cost, I think, like $3, $2.99. But the iJot program is free. You can record up to 5-minute videos for the free version. Take out your phone. After you leave a listing presentation, maybe they were going to interview 1 or 2 other agents. As soon as you sit in your car, you sit down, you record a quick 45-second video. Hey, it was great meeting with you. If you have any questions, I would love to help. If there's anything I couldn't answer for you, please get back to me. And you record that, you hit the send button. You can literally create a 45-second video. In total, it would take you about 1.5 minutes for it to record and upload. It's very fast to record one-off video messages. And that's where iJot works really well. If you're sending one-to-one messages, it works really well and it's really quick. and it tells you if they read it, and you get the analytics and things like that behind it. It's an awesome program. I became familiar with iJot because I went to Inman Connect in New York City. Anybody go to Inman? A couple people. I met a whole bunch of people at Inman, and I hung out with a lot of different real estate agents throughout the week. I hung out with one agent, his name was Sean Carpenter. Didn't hang out with him the most, but we spent a couple days together. We were working in the front row of seats there, and we sat next to each other for a day or two. But I didn't hang out with him the most during that convention. But when I got home from that convention, I received a lot of emails from the people I met. Hey Steve, it was nice meeting you, maybe we can get together in the future. And all of them were text-based emails except one. And that was Sean's email, Sean Carpenter's email. He sent me an iJot. And it was 40 seconds long, and it was, hey Steve, it was really nice meeting you. And I could hear the passion in his voice and see his sincerity. And you know what? Out of that convention, and of all the new people I met at that convention, even though I didn't hang out with him the most, I remember him the most. Because of that video and that personal connection that he made with me after we got home from the convention. Or the convention. And I think you guys can make the same types of connections with clients that you're meeting for the first time, sending out a quick video, doing it for free. It doesn't take any time, and doing it on your phone. It's a really awesome, awesome tool. Oh, you have the HD hat, is that the, yeah. Someone's actually using the HD hat wide angle lens adapter with the tripod right over there. Yes?
Can you do iJot and text it?
No, it's not a text, it's an email. So the iJot would be an email service. And it emails right out, and it does play on my iPhone too, so it plays on a lot of different devices. You don't have to go to a web browser to view that.
How is it for the Android version?
I'm sorry, how soon? I'm not sure. I'll send them an email though and see if I can find out. And again, you guys, if you're not following me on Tech Savvy Agent, please go to techsavvyagent.com, S-A-V-V-Y, and we have a Facebook link there. All the information I'm going over here today in the class, a lot of it I do go over on my website. It's all free. There's nothing to buy. I don't sell you anything there. You can't buy anything even if you want to buy something there, except other products that I mentioned. Yes?
Do you have a Facebook group?
I do. Well, there's I'm a part of a bunch of different Facebook groups, but there's not a particular Tech Savvy agent.
Oh.
Yeah. The other service I want to go over here is BombBomb. Now, BombBomb I started using because I was looking for a replacement for Constant Contact. I felt Constant Contact was just a brutal way of sending mass emails. They were so archaic, it was hard to change templates. I couldn't save my own templates. So I started looking for a new way to do mass emails. And so I checked out Aweber, which I thought was pretty nice. I checked out MailChimp, which I thought I thought they were all better than Constant Contact. I thought Constant Contact was the worst. Are they here? But
Not anymore.
so I feel bad if I just said it, but that's my honest opinion. So I checked out those other services, and I'm like, hey, they're pretty cool, and I was going to use one until I stumbled across a service called BombBomb. And BombBomb does a very similar thing. They send out mass emails, but they do it with video, and they were the only one that had that built-in video option. So if I send you an email from Tech Savvy Agent here, I'll show you what it looks like. It's a little wider on the side, there we go. So as you can see, there we go. So here's an email that I would send out from Tech Savvy Agent with some of my latest posts and things that we're doing on the website. And if all goes well, it plays inside the email. Pretty cool, right? You're not clicking the link, you're not going anywhere else. And the system tells you how many people watched your video, and thousands of people are watching my videos, whereas it's so hard for me to get 1,000 people to watch my video on YouTube. I can easily do that because I have a mailing base of 10,000 agents. It's really, really cool. Plus, all these are live links. And I didn't even have to create that template because BombBomb will actually create the HTML email templates for you for free. So let me jump back to that slide and show you some of the highlights. The most interesting thing about using this product, though, is the first time I started using it, I was actually on a plane, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to check out BombBomb. And I had Wi-Fi on the plane. So I went to the Wi-Fi thing, I typed in bomb, and I'm like, wait a second. This is probably not a good idea. So a lot of reasons to use it, but one of the nicest and the best reasons to use this particular service if you're looking for a blast email provider is if you go to bombbomb.com and you type in, or bombbomb.com/real estate, and you type in the code Tech Savvy Agent, I don't get anything if you type in the code, but what you will get is an extra HTML email template for free. Then we'll give you 3 free email templates. You have a 14-day free trial with the system, so you can get BombBomb on your iPhone, you can get it on your Mac or your PC, and you can send out emails to up to 500 people. I think they have a limit of 200 people normally. If you type in Tech Savvy Agent, you get 500 people for free for those, for those 2 weeks. And you can send out emails, test it out, see if your conversion rates are higher, see if your open rates are higher, see how video can affect your business. And if you don't like it, you didn't pay anything in the beginning. You'll get 1 free HTML template during your free trial, which is amazing that they're going to do that for you during your free trial. And then if you decide to sign up, it's $20 a month for up to 500 contacts, and you'll get the 2 other free HTML templates for a total of 3. And you'll get one that has a video section on it, one that doesn't have video. And it'll match your branding and your colors and your KW logos and everything else. And they'll create an excellent, I really like my template, I thought it was great. Yes.
You said for up to 500 contacts, is that per month, per?
Yeah, it's $20 a month for up to 500. Now, if you want more contacts,
right,
that's 500 total. You can email to those 500 contacts every single day if you wanted to.
Okay.
But if you have 1,000 contacts, 2,000, I don't know what the pricing is, but if you go to the booth and check it out.
Can you include yourself and then forward it on to another large group through your Gmail or something like that?
That might not be ethical.
All right.
So I'm not going to.
Sorry.
Maybe, but I'm not going to respond to.
Well, maybe your clients will forward it for you.
Yes. Well, there you go. Well, that's the good thing. There's a ton of sharing options. So you have all sorts of sharing options on the BombBomb templates where they can hit Facebook and Twitter and send it out. And I noticed some of my emails actually go fairly viral. So we're running short on time. We only have 10 minutes left. So I want to get to the last topic here of the day, which is video screen capture. And I'm going to give you some ideas on how you can use a service called Jing. And then I'm going to share with you some new things that YouTube is doing with their videos and how you want to position your videos on YouTube to generate some serious traffic using a technique or a strategy that several people I know are using and it's working quite well for them. So first, let's talk about Jing and what Jing is. I'm going to go into a screenshot, or actually this is a live version, of some statistics about a particular neighborhood. Now, if you have statistics from your team leader, maybe you generated some statistics about your area of expertise from the MLS, and you have some graphs or stats that you would like to share for a market update, you can do that with that. That doesn't make a difference. I'm going to use, for my example here, I'm going to use a product called Market Snapshot. Anybody have Market Snapshot in the room? Does your Market Snapshot look like that? Because this is the new one. It's not out yet. It comes out the 21st. February 21st, everybody that has Market Snapshot will get an update to this new version of the system, which will provide some really nice infographics up here on the top, which detail how the market is. So what I'm going to do here is, if you're using Snapshot or you don't have Snapshot, you have some type of statistics on your screen that will help you explain how the market's doing. You want to put it up on your screen here first. In this case, we're going to go with this. You see the little yellow sun in the upper right-hand side of my screen here? This is a program called Jing. We're going to take Jing, J-I-N-G. I'm going to highlight my screen. I'm going to let go. And I'm going to hit a little button on the bottom that says Capture a Video. Capture a video. And it's going to start recording. And I'm going to go into an intro. Hey guys, it's your local friendly real estate agent. Want to give you the market update for Downingtown, Pennsylvania. Here's what's happening. Here's the inventory. Here's what's going on. Look, the nice thing about Market Snapshot is it actually provides detailed information about the listings as well as the solds live off of your MLS. It will automatically send your clients reports every single month without you doing anything with sold data of homes in and around their neighborhood. So if someone's 5 years away, chances are if their neighbor sells their home, they want to know what they got for it. But they can't get that info from the internet. They need to wait months for the tax record data to come out. Using Market Snapshot, they can get that information right now. That's why it's such a great thing to record here for a video screen capture. So pretend we're recording this and we're going over the listings and we're going over the solds and the new listings in the neighborhood, and we came up with a fairly nice pitch. At the end of our pitch, we're going to say something like, if you want a custom report, this is a report for Downingtown. If you want a custom report for your neighborhood, go to, and then you direct them to your website. And hopefully on your website you have something that they can fill out and get instant information on the neighborhood. If you have Snapshot, of course, they can do that. They can fill out a form and see that live sold data for their street instantly on Market Snapshot. So that's really cool. So we gave her a call to action at the end. We hit the stop button. And look what it just did for me here. Now I have a video. I don't have to be in front of the camera. I don't have to be nervous. I had the information right in front of me, so it was easy to talk about the market and the market conditions for Downingtown, Pennsylvania. When I hit the stop button, I'm finished with a completed video.
Hey guys, it's a local friendly real estate agent. Want to give you the market update for Downingtown, Pennsylvania.
So we're not going to play the whole thing here.
Inventory.
JINC.com.
Blend this into your video for the house.
Will HD Hat, I don't know if they'll do that or not. The question was, will HD Hat blend this into the video of your house? I'm not sure, but we can find out for you. Is there a question over here too? All right. Imagine taking this though, guys, taking a report like this, a market report, and adding it into your BombBomb, and doing a mass email service, or adding this into your iJot, and sending it out to somebody with a call to action at the end. I'm going to show you something even more powerful than that here in a second, and how this video can be placed onto YouTube, and how YouTube is actually ranking the videos now. Because look at this handy little button on the bottom. YouTube. Remember that YouTube account I told you needed an hour ago? Well, if we just click this button, it automatically takes that video and it posts it to YouTube. One click. Super simple. And this program is 100% free-ish. So you can record videos with it, and you can upload them to YouTube, but if you pay $14.95 for the year, it's a year payment, you'll have the single click to YouTube, which makes it easy, and the video sizes will be much smaller. It actually has a nice compression algorithm, and it makes it smaller, which is important because you want people to actually watch your videos and not have it sit there and buffer and buffer and buffer. So if you're going to do a lot of video, I recommend paying $15 for the year. It's a great service. When we hit that YouTube button, it's going to upload to YouTube, and when you upload a video to YouTube, you type in 3 sections of crucial information. What sections are they? The title, description, and tags, right? So we type in the title. Why do we enter in the title? So people know what the heck the video is. Same thing with the description. Why do we enter in tags? So YouTube/Google can rank and decide where this video is going to appear and if it's going to appear for a particular search. But people game tags, right? You know, people go into YouTube and they'll have a video on something totally unrelated and they'll type in just the most popular tags. That's what they used to do. It doesn't happen so much anymore. So YouTube needed to figure out a way to overcome that. So YouTube acquired a number of different companies. And guess what kind of companies they acquired? Voice recognition, transcription services. So no one knows the magic behind Google, because Google doesn't divulge your information. But they acquired like 3 different transcription services, and the rumor is now that when you record a video or you have a video on YouTube, what you are saying in that video is being used to determine your search ranking and if it's going to appear in a Google search/YouTube search. That is extremely important. So what I just showed you here can be immensely powerful. Why? Because if you're taking something like that market snapshot and you have this great information that you know that people want that they can't get elsewhere on the internet, and you're doing monthly recordings for a local market update, and you mention words like real estate, listings, solds, your name a bunch of times, and you do that every month for every area that you service. After 6 months, you're going to have a wealth of video up online, which Google/YouTube most likely is accessing because of the words that you're using within your market update. Very few agents are creating these video market update reports. And how do I know very few agents are creating them? Because every time that someone that I know creates a video market update, they're getting onto the first or second or third page of Google rather quickly. Here's an example. Now I'm going to go live here. And hopefully this actually works, because I didn't get a chance to test it before I came in. But I'm going to type in signature of Solon. I didn't even have to type in signature of Solon Homes, I hope. And I'm going to run a Google search. And there's one video that appears on the first page, and yes, it's all the way down on the bottom of the page. But all this person did, this is my buddy Greg, he jinged a video, he pressed the YouTube button, he gave it a title, Signature of Solon Market Update, typed in a short description, and that's it. He didn't do anything else special. And it's on the first page. This is in Ohio. Signature of Solon's a nice golfing area or community. And he appears on the first page with almost 400 views right now, just by jinging that video. And he only did one, because he's not even a realtor. He used to work for Move, and he did it as a test. Bruce Craig, who's downstairs in the Move booth, did one for Deer Valley, Hoover, Alabama. Same thing. Because no one is creating, this is where these guys live. So they did it for their local area. So if someone Googles Deer Valley, Hoover, Alabama, because they want to see if it's a nice place to live, there's one video here on the first page, and again, there it is. It's a market snapshot video, or any video that you would like it to be. And especially if someone actually runs a search through videos, of course, it appears as the #1 hit up there, because there's very few agents doing that on a consistent basis. So my recommendation for you would be to do this on an ongoing basis. If you take a look at someone like Ian Watt, who's out of Vancouver in British Columbia, he creates 3 or 4 videos a week, and he's been doing it for 2 years. He is the condo king up in Vancouver. And if you Google condos in Vancouver, guess who is all over the first page? Ian, because he has a 20 times, and this is a real stat, you have a 20 times better chance of showing up on the first page of Google with a video than you do with text. So all he does is create video all week long, and when you Google anything in Vancouver or condos, he is all over the first, second, and third pages because he has so much content. So I hope you guys can see how video can play, I think we're just out of time here, I hope you can see how video can play a larger role in your business. If anybody wants to check out some of the cool gadgets and toys that I have here, feel free to come up. But also, do you have a question, sir? Yeah, go ahead. Is the mic not on? Just yell it out. I'm sorry? The question was, is Tech Savvy Agent free? And the answer is yes. Which, by the way, real quick, before you answer your question, or ask your question there, I'm giving presentations at the booth. Photography presentations, I think we're giving an SEO, QR code presentation at the Move booth. We have a little theater down there. If you come down and you attend all the presentations, we're giving away a MacBook Air at the show, live to a person that attended all the presentations down there. So make sure that you come down and visit me in the booth. I want to thank everybody for coming.
See you later, Zachary.
Enjoy the rest